Again, this is Spiritual Psychic Cynthia Killian again, Psychic Cynthia, and welcome back to your Awakening Your Inner Psychic Level 1 class series. And today I want to talk about something that's kind of fun. Actually, I hope you're having fun in this course, actually, getting to know your inner psychic. It's not all about just doing the work. I hope that it's a joyful journey for you as well. I know it certainly has been for me in many ways. The part of this I want to talk with you about today might be a little bit surprising or different for you. It might not be something that you normally think of as part of your psychic development, but trust me, it can be. So this follows along with getting to know your inner psychic and showing your inner psychic that you care, showing your inner psychic that it's important to you. Keep in mind that this inner psychic, it's part of you. And often the inner psychic, was much more active earlier in life. Think about your own life. Think about your childhood, for example. Can you remember times in your childhood where, maybe you had an imaginary friend, quote unquote, imaginary, right? Maybe there was an angel you could feel, or maybe you saw fairies. Maybe you felt energies or could see auras or just knew things. Weren't you a little bit different in childhood? Wasn't there a part of you then that knew certain things or felt certain things that the adults around you didn't? I bet there was, even if you can't remember her or him, she was there, and that was your inner psychic, okay? And so, this is a part of you that she's been there a long time, but she probably got pushed down and set aside. And that's why we have to coax her back. And I don't mean just by doing meditation. Yes, that is a wonderful way that we do that, and by strengthening the inner senses and all of that. But it's also by letting those parts of yourself that were pushed away by society, that had to be pushed down, or neglected, letting some of those parts come back up. And one way in particular, one really fun and cool and powerful method for bringing your inner psychic back up is to let her help you express in your clothing. In other words, you want to let your inner psychic dress you, as you can kind of see that I'm doing today, right? Pretty much every day, by the way. And listen, this isn't about you having any certain look. What does a psychic look like anyway? Does a psychic wear a lot of jewelry? Well, probably, yes. Often. I digress. But I don't know what your inner psychic looks like, okay? But I know that she is fun and playful, or he is fun and playful, bold and expressive. Your inner psychic has certain color preferences, certain fabric preferences, certain ways that he or she likes to feel in her clothing. And it's probably a little bit different than the mainstream you, okay? Do you understand what I'm saying here? So here's what I want you to do. And first of all, I'm assuming that you have already in your possession some clothing that your inner psychic can enjoy. Now, you might need to go out shopping with your inner psychic. Depending on how far you push this all down, it might be that there's nothing in your closet or your shoe rack that at all pleases your inner psychic. And if that's the case, well, you know what to do, okay? But often, if you're like most people that I know, you've got some clothes, okay? And so what you do is in the morning, or maybe even the night before, maybe now, as soon as you're done with this video, how about that? If you can, as soon as you can get home to your closet, okay? You go in your closet or your drawers or wherever you keep your clothes. Maybe you just keep them in a basket. My husband loves to do that. Just pull them up and Of course, he has dressers, but he'd rather keep them in a basket. That works for him. I get that. So, whatever works for you, wherever you store your clothing and your accessories and all that. And let your inner psychic go through and pick out a few things that it really likes, a few colors, a few textures, fabrics. How does your inner psychic like to wear its accessories? What about its shoes, the earrings, the hair ties? I don't know, headbands, it could be, or scarves. Does it like things with little beading? Can't hardly see my beading here. There's some little beading on that. What does your inner psychic like? How does it want to express? And let it dress you, okay? And if you're not comfortable going out in public with what it wants, then just put it on at home, okay? Just start with that. Start with that. And let this part of yourself begin to come up again. Because, if you're going to awaken your inner psychic, you have to let her come up. You can't just keep pushing her down. And if you keep dressing in the same ways and doing the same things, taking the same route to work and all that, and just doing everything the same, then nothing's going to change, dear one. You have to change what you're doing to change. It sounds so simple when I put it that way, doesn't it? And yet that's profound. You have to change, right? And you have to let your inner psychic have a little bit more real estate in your day-to-day decision-making process. In other words, you have to let it be empowered and let it guide you. So next time you get in your closet to get dressed, ask your inner psychic, what would you like to wear today? You might be thinking in your mind, oh, I want to wear, some browns and navy blue, but it's saying, no, I want to wear some purple, or at least some theme with patterns. Of course, it could be the opposite. You might be feeling like, oh, I'm going to go wear some bright clothes, a bright red dress, and your inner psychic says, no, let's put on these earthy colors instead. However it works, just open to it and listen, and start letting your inner psychic dress you instead of what somebody else says you should wear, okay? Really, that is what a lot of this awakening boils down to, and learning to live the guided life. It's you starting to listen to your inner psychic and letting your inner psychic guide you and tell you what you want for your higher growth, for your higher development. Instead of listening to all the voices around you, I'm a big fan of having mentors and positive influences in your life. And yes, we should seek counsel, absolutely. But so many times, instead of listening to our inner self or even the wise counsel in our life, we're listening to the static of the matrix, right? And I don't mean a positive matrix here. No, I mean like the soul-sucking chaos matrix. Like you're tuning into the news and letting it distress your whole aura, for example. Tune into the inner news. Tune into what's inside of you. She'll lead you and guide you and protect you. And also just help you to have the most magical life possible. To me, the point of tuning into the inner psychic isn't to tune out from the rest of the world. It's to really live a real life. And a lot of times we say, oh, I have to, listen to this news or pay attention to this. This is what I have to do, to be a part of life. When in fact, scattering your energies in that way, not paying attention to your inner self, you're not living life at all, okay? So, again, going back, just let's give your inner psychic a little bit more position in your life and let it help you choose your clothing, okay? Your jewelry. And if you would like to be even more radical, start asking it what path to drive to work or wherever you're going, just start asking it for more guidance in other areas, but start with your clothing. That's a good place to start. Something to work on, something to play with. So I hope you'll have fun with this, and comment below and share some of your stories about how your inner psychic likes to dress and express itself in fashion. Until next time, bright blessings.